Ugh. Do. Another one bites the dust. Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to what was supposed to be our weekly Balance Unlimited discussion videos. Today we would have been talking about episode 2. We're still going to talk about episode 2, but we got some other stuff to talk about. Before we get into that though, I do want to give a big thank you to those of you who shared last week's video over on Twitter. At FireOtaku845, at JNTheo21, at It's Tired Andy, at Clockwork Cams, at Bubblubber, at DCherryWolf, at Anime Trashbin, at Kisachan94, at A Snapshots, and at AnimeFan3535. Thank you all so much for sharing last week's video over on Twitter, everybody, and if you too would like to be in next week's Balance Unlimited video, the final Balance Unlimited video for the foreseeable future, then be sure to share this video around on the internet, and then tag me at JoJo Talks Too Much over on Twitter, and I will be sure to shout your name out in next week's video. Okay, so let's start today's discussion, right? Now, I say discussion, and I want to put an emphasis on that. These videos aren't necessarily just me like talking about the episode. They're normally about the episode, but they're really supposed to be like discussions in general, weekly discussions on a particular show. And this week we're talking about Balance Unlimited, or today we're talking about Balance Unlimited rather. And because of what's going on, we're going to be talking about a little bit more than just the episode. In fact, that's what we're going to start with. You saw the thumbnail, you read the title. Yes, it's true. Balance Unlimited is getting delayed. They are going to be going on hiatus after episode 3. We are getting episode 3. We're getting episode 3 next week. And then it's going away. And from what I gather, there is no clear sign as to when the show will be coming back. The folks behind the series, the team over at Cloverworks, have not really given a for sure date as to when they will be back working on the series. They're not sure when... I don't even think like the TV production knows. I don't think anybody knows when they're going to be back on their weekly output, and that sucks. And that's something that I want to talk about a little bit, because there's this stigma I've noticed where anytime somebody says that really sucks, somebody immediately responds with, well, what would you have them do? And it's like, well, yeah, I agree. Here's the thing. It's important to respect this decision, but it's also okay to say that you're sad. It's okay to be disappointed when something gets delayed. It's okay to be disappointed when something gets pushed back. When ReZero got pushed back, everybody, including me, was disappointed. And rightfully so. It sucks. And the immediate response to somebody saying, I'm really bummed out about that, isn't to say, yeah, but they had to. It should be to say, yeah, me too. That should be the response. It should be a given that this is respected. I don't blame Cloverworks. I'm not angry at Cloverworks. I'm not even disappointed with Cloverworks. I'm disappointed with the situation. And it's okay to respect that decision, because I absolutely do. It's the right decision to delay it. I respect it. But I'm obviously disappointed because I really like this show. It's only episode 2, and I was so glued to the screen because it's such a good show. So of course I'm going to be disappointed when I hear that it's pushed back. Of course I'm going to be disappointed when I hear hiatus tossed around. Like, we don't even know when it's coming back. After episode 3, we have no clue when it's coming back. It could get pushed back all the way to summer, for all we know. It could get pushed back to autumn, for all we know, for crying out loud. Like, we don't know when it's coming back. And it's okay to say that you're disappointed. It's okay to be sad. And I know people are going to be like, it's just the show, or it's like shitty or selfish or whatever. I'm telling you it's okay. I'm telling you you're having a human reaction to something. It's okay to be disappointed. It's okay to be sad, as long as you respect their decision, because ultimately it's the correct decision. The only other thing I will say in regards to the delay is that I am a little bit concerned about what's going to happen to Balance Unlimited's momentum. Its forward momentum, because this show came out the gate swinging, man. People were talking about this show. It was trending. Daisuke was trending, and rightfully so. Of course this boy is trending. Of course my I don't give a shit rich boy was trending. But I'm concerned. I'm concerned that going on hiatus is going to have some kind of effect on the show's popularity, because I'm worried that people will forget. And then by the time it comes back, maybe they don't make a big enough splash when they come back and people aren't even aware that it's back at all. We've seen this happen. So I'm concerned. I will champion the show when it comes back. I will sing its praises at the top of my lungs. But for now, we don't know when it's coming back. So I ask that you guys maybe follow the official Twitter for Balance Unlimited. Keep an eye on it when it's back. Make sure you let everybody know, because this show deserves to succeed. It really, really does. With that said, though, that's all I'm going to say on the delayed front. With that said, we're going to now address the actual episode itself. We're going to talk a little bit about episode 2, because honestly, there's a lot to say. There's a lot to love about this episode. The biggest thing for me is actually Haru himself, who I was referring to as Kato last week, because I didn't catch that they called him Haru a few times, because I'm a big idiot. But yeah, Haru. I want to talk a little bit about Haru, because this character obviously was a little bit overshadowed by Daisuke last week. And that's fair. Daisuke is very clearly the center of attention. When he walks in the room, all eyes on him. But all eyes are not really on Haru in the premiere, and that's fair, because episode 2 is where Haru really shines. And Miyano really gets to flex his Seiyu muscles, you know? Like there's this moment where I feel like that it basically encapsulates not only Haru, but Miyano's ability to kind of flip-flop between like two different personalities. And it's when they're in the very beginning of the episode, when they're in the room, and Kame basically blurts out like, ah! Like he just lets out a scream. And Haru's like, relax, Kame. And Kame's like, oh my god, the so-and-so, she died. And Haru's like, what? He just freaks out. And I was like, that's Miyano. That so encapsulates his style of acting, and it really tells you a lot about Haru as well. The fact that he's able to flip-flop between being like the straight man to the shenanigans going on around him, to be reacting with the dry wit, and then to immediately be like animated and alive and goofy and funny. And the fact that they let Haru be funny at all, it's nice. I like that he's not like stereotyped as one specific thing. He's not just the straight man. He's not just like the dry wit. He's allowed to be animated. He's allowed to be fun, as long as it suits the specific situation and his character. And I think that's really great. And what I also think is really great is well, I don't think it's great, but I think it's good for his characters. The anger towards Daisuke, and the fact that it's actually like he's directing his anger at Daisuke, as well as basically directing his anger at the world, because of his own insecurities. Haru, as we find out from Daisuke himself, the reason why he was demoted is because during some sort of situation, may have been a raid of some kind. I'm not entirely clear, but Haru discharged his weapon and he shot somebody and injured them critically. And it was a bystander. It wasn't who they were actually after. And that moment shook Haru to his core. It changed him, and he could not fire a weapon since. And so they had to demote him from the first unit down to where he is now. That is raw. Now, guns are a scary thing. Now, I'm Canadian, so I don't really get the fascination with guns. Guns honestly kind of gross me out. I get why they're needed, but I do understand why Haru, that would shake somebody to their core, to accidentally shoot somebody else when you were aiming for like a villain, and then like you're aiming to get the bad guy, but you accidentally hit somebody who was just there, wrong place, wrong time. I can understand why that would not only do a number on a cop, but do a number on anybody. And it makes Haru feel 10 times more human. And the fact that he directs that anger at Daisuke, saying like, you're not a proper cop, is, you could easily mirror that. Like, I was just waiting for Daisuke to be like, no, you, no, you. Like he could have easily just been like, I am rubber, you are glue. Like, because it is what it is. Like, Haru is very much internalizing his own self-pity. Like, the fact that he feels like he's not a true cop because he made mistakes and he didn't do what was important. And he's directing that at Daisuke. And Daisuke, to be fair, is a shithead. Like, he is purposely getting under Haru's skin. Maybe not purposely, but he's aware that he is, and he's not doing anything about it. And I don't know, it just made Haru way more human to me. Made me care about him a hell of a lot more. and makes me realize that Miyano is absolutely the perfect fit, because Miyano can both make any character hilarious and make any character very human. So I'm really all about Haru as well now. As for the remainder of the episode, it's basically one big drug bust, and there's a couple different things that I want to talk about. I am noticing that my timer is telling me that I'm running out of time. The reason why I have a timer on the side is because I tend to talk too much, so I try to limit myself a little bit. But I'm just gonna go balance unlimited on this one and kind of talk for, I'll try to wrap it up relatively quickly, but I'm just gonna go. And I'm gonna start with Old Man Cho. Cho-san, as they call him, is probably gonna be my favorite character. And I say probably because we don't really get to know a lot about this man, but I know that as soon as I see an old character in a show, I'm like, I'm probably gonna like this character. Because a lot of you probably know this, but I am secretly an old man. I'm an 87-year-old man in the body of a 27-year-old dude. And that's just a fact. So anytime I see another old man, I'm like, hey, old man soul here. I respect that. We old men, we respect. We understand. No, I'm just kidding. But I do empathize with the old man because I'm like, nice. And Cho seems fun. I want to know a little bit more about him. The sort of like rough and tumble, like old cop who's kind of seen it all, and he's an expert at interrogations because he knows exactly which buttons to push to get somebody to confess whatever he needs them to confess. And I'm excited to see more from Cho and the relationship he seems to have with Haru, since Haru seems to really, really respect Cho. So yeah, I want to see more of Old Man Cho. The other character we get introduced to is Mito, the journalist, and Mito is again another example of Haru's connections as a cop, since Mito expresses that Haru is the one who caught him in he was running with a bad crowd, and Haru gave him a real stern talking to, and it turned Mito's life around. He became a journalist, and now he's actually helping them on their drug bust. And Mito is a legend, man. Like, this dude running around in the dog costume, like the cop costume, that had me rolling. I love Mito. I love the reveal that it was Mito under the costume as well. I thought it was gonna end up being what's her face? Like, I don't know her name. The other Kanabe, but I genuinely thought it was gonna be like that reveal, that it was gonna be her. But no, it was Mito, and Mito's a sweet dude, and he's there for a nice little moment actually with Daisuke, where Daisuke ends up confessing, or not so much confessing, but revealing that he's never had cup noodle before, which was a shock. The other, like, Mito and Haru react in kind, since they're like, who hasn't had a cup noodle before? Like, what are you talking about? And yeah, and he's just like, no, I don't know. I've just never had cup noodle before. Like, it's good. I like it. And it's like, yeah, of course, everybody likes cup noodle, Daisuke. Like, where have you been? Like, I get that you're rich, but my God, like, even rich people like cup noodle. At least I have to believe that. Final Fantasy characters eat cup noodle. Come on, man. Like, everybody has cup noodle. But I love that Daisuke not only makes his own brand of noodle just for him, but we actually see it tallied up in the final count at the end of the episode. You actually see, like, one of the things that are tallied is Daisuke's brand new cup noodle, like, franchise, I guess. I don't know if it's just for him or if he's making, like, a whole company for his own brand of cup noodle. I don't know, but if they make Daisuke noodles, could somebody buy it and send one to me? Because that would be really appreciated. That said, I love that we go from Daisuke eating his first cup noodle to firing a rocket that is filled with sleeping gas, knocking that entire building out cold, because the sleeping gas goes all the way through. Like, it pierces through the concrete and lands on the floor where the rest of the party is and knocks everybody there unconscious. We go from a man eating cup noodles for the first time to a man firing a rocket, and it's shot beautifully. The animation is stunning. It looks so dope. I love the way, like, I've gone from not being a big fan of the character designs to thinking the character designs and the color blend together perfectly. Like, if it was any other color design, it wouldn't have been as good. But man, the color design mixed with the character design blends so well. That shot of the rocket firing is so friggin' great. My God, it's a testament to how Balance Unlimited can go from something insanely something insanely goofy and crazy, like firing a rocket, to like a calm, quiet, and like slightly more grounded type of humor, like Daisuke eating cup noodle for the first time. The last thing I'm going to mention is the woman. Okay, so I'm just gonna get this out of the way. Your boy's a Fudanshi, so of course I'm shipping Daisuke and Haru already, but there is this lady character who we know her last name is the same as Daisuke. A lot of people are saying it's his fiance. It could be. The OP kind of hints that it is, like the way he's holding her is like relatively intimate. It could be. Until we get absolute confirmation, I'm just gonna say, I don't know, maybe it's like his sister or his cousin or something, because if it's his fiance, then yeah, that's a wrap. I'm not gonna break up a happy home unless she turns out to be evil or something, in which case I will absolutely break up a happy home. But yeah, for now, I don't know if it's his fiance. It could be his fiance. I don't know. And if you're gonna tell me spoilers from the novel, then just save it, because I don't want to know. But if it's his fiance, I will change my mind. For now, I'm still about that Daisuke Haru life. With that said, everybody, I'm gonna wrap up my thoughts here. I suppose the question of the day today would be, when do you think we will be seeing Balance Unlimited return? I'm going to be optimistic and say summer. I'm gonna say summer, which is still a long-ass time away, but it makes the most sense to come out in summer, I think. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And that's gonna do it for today's video, everybody. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, then by all means hitting that like button and leaving a comment down below is a great way to help out this channel, as it pleases the almighty YouTube algorithm. So if you choose to do so, kudos to you. And if you're feeling extra supportive today, you can go ahead and check out all the links in the description. One goes to my Twitter, another one is to our Discord server, another one to our merch store if you feel like grabbing yourself a mug, and of course, our Patreon page. And speaking of the Patreon page, I do want to give a big thank you to those of you in the T Squadron who support this channel month to month. Let's go ahead and do the Earl Grey shoutouts. Zevi, Andrew W, Branson C, Bria Rose, Calvin A, Crowbar of Irony, Daniel G, Digger the Fox, Dominic G, Emily, Ionos, Urza, Ginkotaku, Godzilla Fan, No For Nothing, Maria T, Marshall B, Mater, Mirth Mouser, Cell, Shadow Creative, Stephen G, Sakochi, The Suavest Orange, Tristan G, and Veridon. Thanks so much for your continued support over on Patreon, everybody, and if you too would like to join the T Squadron, then be sure to check out the first link in the description to check out our Patreon page. That is a huge way to support the channel. And again, be sure to check out the other stuff in the Discord as well. Go join our Discord. It is now public. You can all join. Everybody can hop in the Discord. Follow me on Twitter if you want me to ramble at you even more. And until next time, you stay classy, AnyTube, and wash your dang hands.